Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year once again. And I really hope that all your hopes and wishes will come true. But please remember that the year is going to be what we are going to make for ourselves. It's always up to us. And it's an easy way to blame anyone else, the system, the government, the war, the virus, the whatever. No, it's up to you. If you understand your own life, if you are willing to take part in your own destiny, nothing really bad can happen to you. At least this is what I hope for 2024. Anyhow, the reason for this particular video is Merkaba. We have this wonderful, very rare configuration, which is a six-pointed star. And the usual occurrence when you see this in a chart only really happens when the angles are creating a mystic rectangle, because then you only need two celestial objects in opposition, really, that are then forming the six-pointed star. But in this occasion, we have six celestial objects. So let's take a look at the chart. This is going to be exact on January 8th. It doesn't really matter what time, although I was tempted to create a chart when the Sun and Venus are exactly conjunct, which is at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. This is a noon chart for Budapest, so you can recreate the chart anywhere, and you can play with the orbs and the configurations, the other configurations with the angles. I didn't do it because it doesn't really matter what time you're looking at it. The only thing that is really interesting, that this is a water earth Merkaba, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and we have, by chance, yes, a sun, not a sun, a moon Venus conjunction, an applying conjunction, which will be exact in the evening sometime. So this is one interesting thing. I will tell you in a minute why. And as you can see, the Aries North Node conjunction is already separating, and Chiron is applying towards the North Node, and there's going to be a Chiron North Node conjunction quite soon. It will be within Orb in a couple of weeks, and then they will be conjunct. This is one of the main karmic astrological aspects for this year, for the year 2024. Let's take a look at our Merkaba. Before we do that, Venus in Sagittarius is a boastful, nice Venus. She loves adventures. If you have such a Venus, you love to travel. You like to feel in a nice way, in a hopeful way. You look forward to. You are quite enthusiastic if there are earthly pleasures, and the Moon, which is motherhood and mothering and the nurturing principle, is now coming up to a conjunction with Venus and effectively joining the two halves of the goddess, which has been cut into two. Uh, it was done centuries ago, actually, a couple of millennia ago, when they needed to dissect the goddess and hermetically separate her two halves, nurturing the nurturing and the recreation principle of the moon and the pleasure giving principle of Venus. And now in this particular moment, they are again one. So I really love this, the symbolism of this, because this is the water earth Merkaba. And as I said, these are all celestial objects, so it's quite rare. And let's take a look what is creating our water earth Merkaba. First of all, you should know that these are created by two intersecting ground trines. One is an earth ground trine and the other one is a water ground trine in this particular case. And it could also occur in masculine signs, of course. But the ancient symbol of the six-pointed star is really the joining of the fire triangle with the water triangle. And it really is the joining of feminine and masculine. So it's really love, the love energy, and the recreation energy of, okay, we are creating a new life through love. This is what the Merkaba symbolizes. And as you can see, you have a six-faceted celestial, configuration, and then the six-pointed star within. So I think it's called hexagon. I hope this is how it's called in English. But anyhow, so you have sextiles around the trines, and then you have the Merkaba inside. It really it's nested within the six sextiles, which we also call ground sextiles. There are many ways to label this. In karmic astrology, we label it a Merkaba. Anyhow, so this is what makes it. Jupiter in Taurus, of course, then Astrea, the karma breaker in Cancer, trans-Pluto dimension jump and channeling in Virgo. Dark moon Lilith, which is the acceptance of the curse. It's not, this is something that I keep telling you because you keep misunderstanding, that it's not like someone being cursed. No, it's a way of behavior that I do what I must do because I know that's the only way to resolve a problem or to act upon something. And I don't care even if you curse me for it. I will simply do because it's an inner understanding that I need to follow. Because that's the dark moon. And then Mars in Capricorn, which is a very strong Mars, because in Capricorn it is quite powerful. It doesn't rule it, but it's in strength. And then the Saturn Hygeia conjunction in Pisces. And I keep telling you that Saturn in Pisces is not very strong. It's the mishy-mushy, gaseous energy of Pisces, where Saturn cannot really structure anything. But if you consider that really we call Pisces the steam energy. So if you look at the water manifestations, then Cancer is the flowing water. Scorpio is the ice, and Pisces is the steam. And if you consider that in the age of well, actually 250 years ago, sorry, my voice is going, when the Industrial Revolution started, it actually lifted up the whole notion of capitalism, lifted up because they were able to create huge engines that were steam powered. So actually steam is quite useful. So at the moment, we don't have a new way of energy building. All the things that they are trying to create is ridiculous. I mean, come on. Everything is ridiculous. Really, all this green agenda is horribly misguiding and very expensive and no use for anything. But anyhow, if you are a green person and you believe in this, go ahead and do it. Just don't force me to follow you. But this could mean that yes, there might be some sort of other technology out there which could be utilized for a new era. We will see. But then, of course, Hygeia is the asteroid of sacred spaces, health, and it's actually creating health and hygiene around us. So that's quite nice. So that's what the Merkaba is suggesting for us. And as I said, the fact that it's a water earth Merkaba and the moon and Venus are conjunct in the evening could actually, I would suggest that if you have a problem with being a woman and how your womanhood and your femininity is expressing, or how you feel as a woman, then do a little ritual and try to restore yourself, because that is the time to do it. And that's the configuration that will help you. Here are the transcendental celestial objects. Mars is conjunct Parsifal, Psyche, and Ixion. And I should have, Ixion is, of course, a oh, wait, this is, I need to put it in blue because Ixion, of course, is a centaur. Sorry about that. Let me put this back. Okay, collapse the ribbon. Okay, here it is. So Ixion is well, it's a centaur that is linked to rape and all kinds of, he is the first documented psychopath. But in karmic astrology, it symbolizes the wheel of the zodiac, where whenever we come down here, we have to enter the wheel again and accept its manifestations. Parsifal is, of course, is the knight in shining armor, and Psyche is the soul, the spiritual essence. The Saturn Hygeia conjunction has the same celestial objects as, for instance, in the January 1st chart, Gong Gong, cosmic cataclysm, Sada Melek, which is a very beautiful star of the Aquarius, Alpha Aquarius, the luck of the king, and Fumahaut, one of the Persian royal star, which brings you luck and success through noble dreams, but you should not daydream. On Trans-Pluto, you have Cleopatra and Artemis. Cleopatra, of course, is the queen. Artemis is the goddess, too strong feminine. On Australia, Karma Breaker, you have Odysseus, the traveler, okay, who is trying to find new ways to go home. And on Dark Moon Lilith, you have Hebe, Dione, and Elatus. Hebe is the goddess of youth. Dione is the young lover, the very young love, baby love, really. And Elatus is a centaur who is expressing himself through work and writing. He's one of the centaurs who wants to better himself and wants to overcome the negative aspects of being half an animal. There's also an interesting dissolved T-square. Look at the T-square. It is made by Mercury, Neptune, and Vesta. This is a mutable T-square, and it's dissolved by Aries, by all means, okay, drastically altered outward circumstances. Now, why is this interesting in the light of the Merkaba that is also forming? Because Mercury-Neptune squares usually manifest in two ways. Number one is that I'm so absorbed in my own dream world that I can't pay attention to the outside world. So I'm constantly having accidents. Either I'm causing them or I'm suffering them because I can't see reality around me. This is one very disturbing aspect of Mercury-Neptune squares. And often these people simply stop driving or simply don't even get a license because they don't want to drive because they know that it's dangerous for them. And the other one is that they are constantly being taken for a ride because they believe everything, or they are very easily so they are very gullible, let's put it this way. And yes, we are gullible. We believe what the press, the lying is interesting because, I was born in Germany and I have a couple of German friends as well. Although I no longer speak German so well, I constantly revert to English. And do you know how they call their own official press? Lügenpresse, which means lying press. And isn't it sad that really legacy media now is turning as a mouthpiece of the narratives of the powerful? It's ridiculous. Anyhow, so don't believe what the powers that be tell you. Always research, always look behind the facts, fact check, really fact check in a prominent way. And then Vesta Mercury is focus on what is being said and how it is being said. And Vesta Neptune is focus on the transcendent, something that is hidden, something that is beyond the everyday or the ordinary. And it is dissolved by Aries, the drastically altered outward circumstances, which in this case is this narrative that is around us. There are four main narratives that are constantly pushing and always trying to get us into this fight or flight mode, into this constant stress and power and pain and suffering and all kinds of fear and rage. You have virus. It's very interesting. A lot of people were very, very sick during Christmas and New Year, the holidays. And when they tested negative for COVID, but it was 10 times worse than COVID. High fever, horrible feelings, bad cough and whatever. And I have a hunch, I keep telling you that they are concocting now a new virus. And what I think is happening is that, yes, it is already out there. They are pushing this on us. And okay, you didn't die during COVID, and COVID we did everything in our power, but you still didn't die. Here's a new one. So something is happening. Something is definitely happening. Anyhow, so virus is one. The second one is migration. I think it will be a very decisive factor in this year, in 2024, with all the elections. You will watch, it's going to be a main theme. The third one, and again, I don't understand why. Yes, I understand if people don't like their own country and they can't thrive there and they have to suffer there and they want to leave that country. I understand that. But then they go to a new country and they want the same rules, the same habits, and they are against the main society. Why? Why are you coming then there? Why are you going into that new country in the first place? Why aren't you staying in your own country and reform that or try to be well? But to go to another country, rape the resources and get what you want and then hate the people there, that's not good. That's not good at all. Anyhow, so that's the second narrative. The third one, of course, is the climate, which it's the most ridiculous of all because it's really ridiculous because yes, the climate always changes. That's what climate does. It has been doing it for millennia, and all we need to do is just adapt to it. And no, that's not man-made. It's made by the sun, made by all kinds of things. And don't forget that plants thrive in CO2. They need CO2. And if we go for zero emission, it's ridiculous. We're killing the plants. The whole thing is really ridiculous. And then the fourth narrative is wait a second. It's the war. Yeah, of course it's the war. I'm just lost my train of thought. It's the war. It's all kinds of war. And the same people who are demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza are the same people who are screaming for more weapons, more money for Ukraine. Isn't it really funny? If it weren't really horrible. I think all wars are terrible. We should stop killing each other, especially killing women and children. I don't know how to resolve it, but actually, it's the drastically altered outward circumstances. I hope that finally one day you wake up and you realize how the world turned around you, and you will be able to get out of the false narrative that the press and the powers that be are pushing on us. That's what we need to do. Here are the transcendental celestial objects on Mercury, which is very, very close to the galactic center, but not yet there. The galactic center is now at 27 degrees and Mercury is at 25 degrees. So it's not yet within the 2-degree orb. I just checked. You have Mercury on Grumium, which is Xida Draco, which is the mouth of the dragon, the celestial dragon, which is protecting the treasure. On Neptune, you have Priamus, and Priamus, which is Priam, who was the king of Troy, and of course the Trojan War raged for 16 years. This was an island which was a beautiful place, which is very, very rich, and it was a paradise. And then the Greeks tried to conquer it, and it took 16 years, but they couldn't. And finally, of course, they cheated with the horse. You might remember. So that is what. What Primus represents here with Neptune means you need leaders who are for their countries and know what to do. And on Vesta you have Alnitak, which is Zeta Orion, which is one of the belt stars. You can see that the belt stars are on the celestial equator, and you can see that Vesta is on the northern hemisphere. Actually it is almost on the ecliptic, whereas the belt stars on the celestial equator. So again, it can't be really conjunct it. Okay. And then on Aries, you have Panacea, and this is really beautiful because Aries drastically altered outward circumstances, and Panacea, universal healing, universal remedy. And that's what the world needs. And sometimes when you see something horrible, something really nasty, something really beautiful can come out. Let's hope for that. I really do hope that this is what we are going to do. And just to show you that at the moment, Mars and the Moon are out of bounds. Here is the edge of the ecliptic, 23.5 degrees from the celestial equator. This was the winter solstice point, and Mars is a little bit underneath it, just half a degree really, and the Moon is 2.5 degrees below it, quite out of bounds. So this is it. Utilize the Merkaba to your benefit, especially if you have problems with your own femininity. Try to restore it. It's really a blessing energy. And thank you for listening. Bye-bye.